All right, everyone, this is checkpoint 2, solving. And so this is just like what we did for checkpoint 1, where we were using PEMDAS. However, the thing that is different now is we were just simplifying before. We were just trying to condense everything. Now we actually are on a mission to solve. Whenever we have a variable like m or k or x, we want to solve for what that is. Solving essentially means get it by itself on one side of the equal side. Get it by itself. Okay? So when we approach a problem, I want you to try some of the simpler ones. I'm going to go over a slightly more difficult one. My first step is to combine like terms. Okay? Like terms are things that can be combined. So for instance, this 16x and this negative 9x are like terms because they both have an exponent multiplied to them. Negative 15 and 13 are like terms because they are both simply just numbers. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to combine this 16x and negative 9x. 16, if you thought about, we're taking 16x's, oh gosh, I'm not going to actually draw all of these out, and it's like we're taking away 9 of those. We're subtracting. That's what's going on there. So 16 minus 9 is going to be 7x, and then minus 15 equals 13. Okay? Now this is where I look at PEMDAS, but one key thing is different here. PEMDAS tells us to use parentheses first, then exponents, then multiplication, then division. However, when we are solving, we actually want to go in the opposite direction, right? We are undoing things in order to get our variable by itself. And so in order to undo that, we are going to use PEMDAS backwards. Okay, so first we're going to look at the subtraction and we're going to undo it. Then the addition, then the division, then the multiplication. So for instance, I have multiplication here, the 7 and the x, and I have subtraction here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pay attention to the subtraction first. And because we're going backwards, we are looking to undo this subtraction. And by undo, I mean use the opposite operation. So for instance, addition and subtraction are opposites. Multiplication and division are opposites. So if I have subtraction right here, minus 15, I'm going to do the opposite of that. I'm going to add 15. Okay? Now, algebra is all about equality. We have two sides of the equation. Here's the first side and the second side. That's why I drew my line down the equal sign. If I do something to the first side of the equation, I have to do it to the second side. So if I am adding 15 to the left side, I have to add 15 to the right side. It's all about balancing. So when I add 15, it gets rid of that negative 15 we had, which is the entire reason we did that, was to get rid of it. So now I am left with 7x is equal to 13 plus 15 is 28. Okay? We're close to solving for x, getting it by itself. But right now, we have this 7 being attached to the x, and it's attached through multiplication. When they're next to each other like that, that means they're multiplied. So, because we're all about undoing things now, I need to undo this multiplication by looking at, okay, what's the opposite of multiplication? It's division. So I'm going to divide by 7 so that 7 divided by 7 is 1, so I'm left with just 1x, which is what I wanted. And then, of course, what I do to one side, I have to do to the other. So 28 divided by 7 is going to be 4. So we have solved for x. X equals 4. So this is going to be how you approach every single solving problem. You are going to combine your like terms first, And then you are going to do PEMDAS, but you're going to do it backwards. You're going to do it in a backwards order, and you are working to undo everything. So let's look at problem 9 together. And then I believe that's the last one I'll be doing with you. Problem 9, I have multiplication going on here, addition, distribution, the parentheses, okay? So what I see when I see distribution is I have a 5 that's being multiplied to an A and to a -3. This 5 is getting multiplied to both of those things inside the parentheses. So I'm going to simplify that first. My 10A is over here. Now, I'm essentially doing 5 times A and 5 times -3, right? I'm multiplying 5 by both those things. So 5 times A is simply just 5A. We get to smush them together like that. So 5A. 5 times -3 is -15. So -15. And that is all equal to 15. I brought those two parts down. So essentially, this distribution right here became 5A minus 15. Okay? Most of the time, students remember to multiply by the first one, but forget about the second. So now I am at the point where I can combine like terms. I notice this 10A and 5A are like terms. So I'm going to add those up. Now I have 15A's minus 15 equals 15. This is a 15 heavy problem. Okay, now is when I'm doing PEMDAS, but in the reverse order. So I like to call this SADMEP. SADMEP. Okay. So what comes first is subtraction. I have subtraction right here, so that is the first thing that I'm going to look at. But remember, we are always doing the opposite in order to undo and get x by itself. So I am going to add 15 to both sides. -15 plus 15 is 0. So on this side, I'm left with 15A. And then over here, 15 plus 15 is 30. And again, I have multiplication here, and I'm wanting to do the opposite, so I need to divide. I'm going to divide by 15 so that they cancel out, and I'm left with A equals 30 divided by 15 is 2. So that is solving for you. There will be more difficult problems in this section, but that is the gist of it. You are going to combine like terms. You are going to do PEMDAS backwards or SADMEP, and then you are doing the opposite of everything you see in order to get a variable by itself.